A lot of people think getting into the real estate business is easier to transact at a high level and it's just like opening doors. It's not that in any capacity. If you want to climb to the height of the business and make a lot of money in it, it's a 7-day-a-week job. We've worked with some of the most amazing, creative, interesting people. And what I've learned from that is some people are naturally born that way, where they're like, I can do anything, I'm amazing, and they believe to the point of delusion, and then they do those things. And then there's other people like me who have to learn that and then train themselves, almost like going to the gym for your mind to get to that level.
Carl, that was awesome. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Glennda Baker. I'm a real estate agent in Atlanta, Georgia, and welcome to this episode of Glennda's Guru. Y'all, I'm so excited to have Carl Gambino. I mean, luxury agent to the stars, to the celebrities in major markets. Carl, I mean, you have to feel right at home with my stars, because I think that every person that you represent has like star power, as do you. So for my audience who may not know about you, who may not have heard about you, tell us a little bit about you, where you are now. Don't tell us where you started. Just tell us where you are now.
Well, thank you for that. And thank you for having me. I would say not all of our clients are massive stars. We do a variety of every type of client, but just a little bit about our business. We are the first team at Compass. They've let do 5 markets. We sell 400 plus million a year. We work in Los Angeles, Miami, New York City, Long Island, and New Jersey, and we have agents in each market.
That is amazing. What I love about what it sounds like your business model is that you really have honed in on the ability to scale where your clients are, because I'm sure that there's lots of people in New York that are also in Miami, or that are also in Beverly Hills or Long Island. So really, you are their agent everywhere.
Well, that's exactly why we built the business. And I look at it as a niche, high-end concierge. We do it at every price point, but yeah, what I started to notice was a lot of our clients would buy an LA house, a Miami house, a New York apartment. And I'm licensed in every market we work in. I've bought and sold property myself. I've obsessively learned the markets. And it's not like, if clients think you are capable and understand you're capable, it's not like they want to go out and meet a million realtors. So we've built a platform for them where we can handle their business everywhere.
That is such an amazing and innovative idea, because you're right. The majority of real estate agents would just refer them to an agent in whatever market that they're going to. But because you kind of have this, I love the way that you say concierge, real estate, because you really are their everything, their go-to for everything in those markets. And because you are licensed and your team, you have a team there and you're active, everything that's going on.
Yeah, and that it works also from a listing perspective. When we list a home, either in any of the markets we work in, we can really expose it in the other markets. We know who's buying and selling. We're moving people between the markets, so we can market it in a way that's not conventional, or we have a broader reach, because we also know all the players in those markets. We have great relationships with the brokers in each market we work in. So it works both ways, but especially from listing exposure as well.
Oh, that's really cool. And there's no better extension of your team than your team, because you refer an agent out and you hope and pray that they're going to give them the same quality, the same luxury experience that you're giving. But you really have a way to guarantee that, because your team is feet on the ground in all of those markets.
Yeah, and we've actually built a system in terms of how we hire agents. Like, they have to have a certain like-minded way of business. They have to have the same level of service. I mean, I work 7 days a week. I'm obsessive. My wife wants to throw my phone in the trash. Like, I don't know if every agent will be exactly like me, but we try to hire and do hire great agents who are an extension of us, that it's not just being pawned off to someone and not handled correctly, because our whole business is based on relationships.
I love that. I have a friend in Boston, it sounds like a very similar business model to you, in his market, where he works all the time. His wife also wants to throw his phone in the river. But really, you are on call, and you're more than just a real estate agent. I think that that's probably the biggest lesson for my audience, is that you're more than just a real estate agent.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people think getting into the real estate business is easier to transact at a high level, and it's just like opening doors. It's not that in any capacity. If you want to climb to the height of the business and make a lot of money in it, it's a 7 day a week job. You have to be available to clients at all times. You have to be a killer in the business, know your market, know the data, and it's not just like people think where you just open a door. Like, I've been reading articles about those AI robots. They're not dealing with emotion or half of the things that we deal with.
Yeah, and there's never a problem till there's a problem. And when there's a problem, you don't want somebody who has a chat bot for a brain.
100%.
So Carl, I mean, how long have you been in real estate?
I'm 39. I started when I was 22 in commercial real estate in New York City, and I did that for maybe 3 or 4 years. I loved real estate. I didn't love commercial. I knew I wanted to own it, but I didn't like brokering it really. I then basically went broke, moved to Los Angeles, kept my New York license, became a dog walker, and then got a job in LA working for a great agent and built it from there in terms of the residential business. So I would say 10 years, this year will be 10 years straight in residential.
That is crazy. So like, where's your home? Like, where your kids are in school, in what state?
Right now in New York, but I'm constantly between New York, LA, and Miami.
That is so awesome. And you can get from Miami to New York, easy plane ride all day, every day, and twice on Sunday, probably 20 times on Sunday. So it's not really difficult. And and as bad as the New York traffic is, you can probably get from New York to Miami faster than you could get from New York to like East Hampton or something, right?
Yeah, it's true. Like, sometimes I have meetings in Miami at noon and I leave in the morning and I'm there in time. I mean, I'm constantly in LA too. We own a home there. Our office is in Beverly Hills, as I said. We have a great team there, and I'm there monthly as well.
How many total agents are on the team?
Our team entirely with staff is about 22 people, but there's there's 6 staff members at this point, but we're rapidly scaling and signing people kind of on a weekly basis. We just hired a great CEO who was actually my manager at Compass. He was like one of the top managers at Compass for 10 years. He ran 2 top teams before. And that was like an amazing new addition because that skill set is really hard to find.
Yeah, that is a very difficult and a very specific personality. I congratulate you on finding somebody like that. So like, think about it. You've got 14 or 15 people that are selling, and you're going through 400, 500 million in volume a year. You are running a very strong team. I mean, that is nothing to sneeze at. I bet there's not one of those people that suck.
Thank you. No, we don't hire people who suck, but I think that.
I mean, but that's the real estate model. Come on, you and I both know that most real estate companies hire as many real estate agents as they can to have the numbers to cook the books, and most of the agents don't sell anything. They don't sell squat. And you've got 14 people doing 400 million. Praise the Lord and pass the money.
Well, thank you. I'm very into self-development and manifestation, and I've worked daily on mind elevation and changing my mind and the law of attraction and all that. I'm obsessed with it. So that's something where we try to hire like-minded people. We help them build their business. We help them elevate to the highest level they've ever been. We're not the type of team where I have to be the star. Like, we want them to have real exposure and build their businesses and be outstandingly successful, and hopefully they work for us forever or with us. But even if they don't, we're successful from helping them build their business. And I really believe in that, and that you can't keep it unless you give it away in many aspects of life.
That's so awesome. When's your birthday?
August 15th.
Oh, I should have known. I should have known. Has anybody ever told you that you look like Leonardo DiCaprio?
Unfortunately, sometimes yes, but
I swear, I was looking at some of your photos and I was thinking to myself, he looks like a movie star himself. I love that. So let's kind of talk through, like, you talked a little bit about motivation. You talked about, like, self-improvement. And I know that you are a public speaker and a motivational speaker. What kind of got you on to that? Like what triggered that in your head?
I mean, I come from like a very loving kind of Italian old school Guido family where they're like, get any job. I mean, my grandmothers are 90. They live in Manhattan. That like 7 people lived in one apartment. None of them had money. I didn't even know people growing up, but I always had this overwhelming ambition or like obsessive desire to succeed. And it drove me insane as a child. And I had everything I needed. Like I had a loving family. My mom was a teacher. My dad was a bank teller. I have a younger brother who's special ed. We like shared a room growing up, but we had everything we needed. But I remember, and maybe I'm just a huge baby, but like very young, if they told me I couldn't have something, they'd be like, do you think we're wealthy? Do you think money grows on trees? It made me so angry. And I like, so I became obsessed with figuring out how to make money because I looked at money as freedom in a way. And when I was first starting in real estate, when I worked in commercial real estate, a woman named Adelaide Polsinelli, who's a very big commercial broker in New York, who had great success. And it was interesting because most of the other brokers were men. And she was one of the most successful brokers in New York. And I was basically her assistant. It's so awesome in full circle. Her son, Justin, now works on our team in New York. And she gave me this book because she came from the same building and area as my family. And I asked her, I'm like, how did you get to this level? What did you do? And she brought me a bag of books and she's like, read this book. And one was this book called Think and Grow Rich from Napoleon Hill. I read that. And then I just became obsessed with those types of books and mind elevation. And I kind of started to realize that you really couldn't get real success or do things unless you convinced yourself that you could, or you absolutely believed it. And I started targeting entertainment people in terms of our business because I felt if I scaled the business with entertainment people, I could rapidly grow and then get to the ultra high net worth along with that. And entertainment people had access to the best of everything. So if they used you, it would just kind of go up from there. And I remember I would walk dogs and I would write like, I'm going to get on the Hollywood Reporter top realtors list. Like I'm going to rep these type of clients. And if anyone else would have read it at the time, they would have thought I was insane. Like I was picking up dog shit for $15. And I go back and look at it. And honestly, like I've achieved in the team, like all of those goals. We've gotten on all the lists. We've worked with some of the most amazing, creative, interesting people. And what I've learned from that is some people are naturally born that way, where they're like, I can do anything, I'm amazing. And they believe to the point of delusion, and then they do those things. And then there's other people like me who have to learn that and then train themselves, almost like going to the gym for your mind to get to
Yeah.
that level.
Yeah, it's mental reps. It's mental reps. Every day, I say, my name is Glennda Baker. Amazing things happen to me. My name is Glennda Baker. I'm a woman of action. My name is Glennda Baker. Everybody's going to know my name. And I say it all day long, all day long. And just anytime that something negative tries to like sneak in, I just go back. My name is Glennda Baker. Amazing things happen to me. Like it's almost like this shield. It's like my kryptonite, like mentally, my brain being so strong. I just don't let anybody or anything not go my way. It's gonna go. It may not look like it's gonna, but it's gonna in the end. And I believe that. And I think that it is a critical piece of success, of long-term sustained success, is that mental capacity to be of greatness.
I 100% agree. I think one of the hardest parts of being an entrepreneur, or in this business as well, is there's very high highs and very low lows, and being able to stick through it and see the end result, even when it looks impossible or you're like on the brink or actually in failure, is one of the most valuable but hardest things, but most valuable things to do. And there's been so many times in this business where I wanted to like curl up and cry, or I've gotten screwed over by clients. I've like thought I was going to make a ton of money. I had no money. I'm behind on my bill. Like so many different scenarios, even at the level I'm at now. Like I could have deals in contract for 30 million bucks that fall apart, or you're just like right there about to taste it and it goes away. And it's just being, and I've read many also on top of self-development, tons of biographies on ultra successful people, from like anyone. Like I'm obsessed with Estee Lauder. I think she's brilliant, or was brilliant, and I'm obsessed with her biography. And you can tell in any types of those stories, those people, no matter what anyone says, they just like can see their vision and they keep going no matter what. And through so much like, and it doesn't always have to be like tons of pain and agony, but a lot of them are, and they just eventually prevail.
But I think that almost any successful person who has started from the bottom and made their way to the top, there is that grit, there is that hustle, there is that ability to just charge through the rain no matter what. And so I mean, I love documentaries about people that just started from nothing and made it. It's my absolute best favorite thing to read. So let me ask you a question. You've obviously had great success, but what would you say was one of what was one of the failures that you learned the most from?
I think in the beginning of my career, great client, and I just like assumed that all clients were loyal, and I like showed them houses and they went around me, and it was like I think $150,000 commission if I made the sale, and they went and bought a house I showed them through someone else. And like it was just like at the time it felt catastrophic. Like I remember, like I thought I was gonna like die. I remember telling my wife about it, and she's like, don't you read all those books that say like, oh, there's like a benefit in every like downfall? Like this is one of those moments. And it felt even bigger because I was in tons of debt. And that was just one thing in terms of a failure that was like a really valuable lesson, was I learned how to be just kind of how the business functions in terms of, I honestly, obviously you have some incredibly loyal, amazing clients, but it is a business where a lot of the times people want to get what they want for their family and they don't care who they're running over. And it was just being like hyper aware and taught me like vigilance and not to fully trust clients at a certain capacity, depending on who they were. So I think that was a huge failure that ended up just making me ultimately like stronger in the business and smarter at the end of it. And that's actually helped me to train agents now, which is awesome, because that happens to agents all the time. I see agents where like someone screws them over, and I now am at a different place where I can help them and coach them through it. And at that time I have always had amazing mentors, but I didn't have like another agent there telling me like, you're like, this is just part of the game.
Yeah, and I think that it's so critical for, and you said it earlier. You said they don't work for me, they work with me, and the agents on your team. And I think that's one thing. I have an all-female team here in Atlanta, and that's one thing is I don't look at anybody on my team working for me. We're all working together. And I think that having someone like you leading them, where you've been through it and you're going through the highs and the lows with them, that makes your team so much stronger, and it makes the camaraderie within the team and the culture very difficult to leave and very difficult to duplicate.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's awesome. So like what is the favorite house you ever sold? Like if you look back on all the houses that you sold and you're like, oh yeah, this one was it. Like,
I mean, I've sold some homes, like really notable, beautiful architectural homes, multiple times. Like there's one that was like from a famous mid-century architect that I think I've sold 4 times. So I have ones like that are gems that I love. I mean, one house I sold in Beverly Hills for 57 million was a really huge, amazing like milestone in my career. And That's one of my favorite sales. I mean, and I was like kind of against all odds. Like all the people I was competing with to get the listing were had done larger sales than me. Had sold the neighboring house. The person was like, they were like, why would we hire you over these other people? I had obviously had enough success to get in the room with them, but I had never sold something at that level. And I just was straight up honest. I was like, I don't come for money. I was a dog walker. I work 7 days a week. I know the ins and outs of this market obsessively, and I won't sleep until this sells. And I will expose this property in a very different way, internationally, nationally, through our other markets. And we ended up getting it and selling it, I think within a 90-day period for 57. And that was broke a new barrier in my career for me, which was awesome.
You know, you've used the word obsessively several times. And I think maybe it's your secret sauce. Is it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sober for 17 years. I have an obsessive mind. I do think if you have that type of mind and you're able to channel it towards things you want, it's almost like a secret superpower in a
Yeah.
way where when I was younger, I used to look at it as something I resented because it caused a lot of pain or discomfort or like negative obsession, and it could go the wrong way. But over time, as like doing the things we discussed, I've learned how to channel it. And like I said, it really can be like a superpower to get you whatever you want.
And your clients see that. They see that superpower in you, and to other people who are uber successful, other people that are uber obsessive about getting what they want, they see that within you, and it almost it you're like a magnet for them. Like they want to work with you so bad because they see how they work, they see their hustle in you, and I think you attract what you project.
I agree. And a few things I like tell agents is what I did in the beginning because I was obsessed was I learned the data, even when I had no business, no experience, no clients, so much. Like I knew every street in Beverly Hills, like who bought on each street. I could meet someone, they'd be like, I live on Tower Road. I could tell them every house that sold, who owned what. So like I was an expert, and this was like subconscious, where I felt that I deserved business because I was an expert. And I knew that like I was going to out hustle a lot of people, and I was obsessed. And that's something I try to tell new agents all the time, that you should obsessively learn the data and know the information in your market, because you don't even realize that subconsciously it gives you the confidence that you deserve business. And I see people get some success and then they do a few deals, then it falls off. And I think they don't even realize that they look at the competition as better than them, or they don't think they deserve it if they don't really learn their market and learn the data. And it's such a simple thing in sales. I think that's for any sales, by the way, but it's just something I was so fortunate that I just did, and it made me a better salesperson.
You know, you are 1000% correct, because nothing accelerates credibility faster than proof. And when you can rattle off who bought 123 Banana Street and what color the shutters are at 127 Banana Street, then all of a sudden, whether you've sold either of those houses or not, the person that you're speaking with knows that you are the neighborhood expert, that you're the expert in that area. And I talked to agents. I was on a webinar earlier today, and I was talking to agents. Look, you're new. You don't have anything to do. You don't have any business. You should be looking at every single house. You should be looking up every single owner. You should be looking up every single attribute. So when you're at a PTA meeting, or if you're at the country club, or you're out to dinner at a cocktail party or a neighborhood party, that you can speak intelligently about real estate, because then people will start paying attention to you.
Yeah. And I also tell agents as well, like people are going to buy and sell homes anyway, and they want to do it with someone mostly that they like, not all the time, but it's more enjoyable if they like you. And then second, like someone who they think is like a killer with their asset and going to direct them in the right way. And especially in competitive markets, that they feel has the ability to get it for them, because sometimes there's multiple offers on things, or it's really hard to find off-market properties, or there's a supply issue. So learning the data again is just so valuable.
It is. And there's no substitute for knowledge. Like that is something that when you walk in and you can tell, what they paid for it, why they bought it, why they sold it, how they financed it, if they financed it, what they're doing with it, all those renovations. That is so critical to your success. And I love that. I got to tell you, I didn't know much about you to start with. And I did a little bit of research, and because I don't like to do too much, because I want our conversation to kind of flow and be organic. And I want to be like surprised and excited when you're talking to me. And I have to tell you, I knew a little bit about you. I'd heard a couple stories about, how awesome you were. Of course, everybody had nice things to say. And I got to tell you, I have absolutely loved our time together, Carl.
Thank you. Me too.
And I can't believe we haven't met yet, because, I'm a pretty big fish, and I am in New York. I come up there and visit a lot. I'm in Miami. I'm in Atlanta. That's an easy ride for me. I've been out to Beverly Hills, and I have not had the opportunity to cross paths with you. So I cannot wait to meet you in person, because this has been amazing.
No, me too. I would love it. I did a bunch of research on you as well, and I was surprised that we didn't know each other.
I know. We have a lot of friends in common, and I got to tell you, I love the fact that you are so obsessive about the knowledge, about creating an experience for your clients that is unlike any other real estate broker is able to create. And I think that that's probably one of the many things that makes you different from everybody else, is that you really are creating this real estate concierge service for your clients, no matter where they want to buy or sell.
Well, I appreciate that, and thank you for the time.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Carl, tell everybody where they can find you. If they want to hunt you down like a hound dog, where do they find you?
My cell phone number is plastered everywhere. I've never changed the number. If you just Google my name, or like anyone could text me or call me. I've been told a million times to get various phones, but I just don't do it. I just have the same number or email, and like I said, I'm very responsive quickly.
Carl, me and you, we are like peas and carrots. My cell phone number is on my Instagram, and I have a hashtag called hashtag Google Glennda. So like you could just like put Glennda into Google, and you can find me everywhere. It's amazing. I've trained Google that there is only one Glennda with two N's, and you should do hashtag call Carl.
Yeah, or Gambino. People remember that.
Oh, that's right.
But I'm not like the murderous gangster ones.
I started to say, wait a minute, aren't those the gangsters? Google Gambino. I love it. Carl, thank you so much for your time here. I'm so appreciative of your time and your talent. And I want you to know, I can't believe that you took time away on your spring break, work vacation with your family to hang out with me. It means so much to me. Thank you, thank you, thank you from the bottom of my heart. And thank you for your time and your talent. Ladies and gentlemen, this episode has featured Carl Gambino, an amazing real estate broker here, there, and everywhere. As I always say, send me a text, tag me in a post, give me a call. That's what I love the most, because I love the opportunity to talk real estate with you today. See ya. Carl, that was awesome.